Welcome football fans, I'm the Football Guy, and this is my video series where we focus on one random NFL team of the past. If you've ever followed a particular NFL team or player, or even just watched an NFL game, this is the place for you. Okay, I've got a big blue button here that says engage on it, and I'm going to push it right now to get it started. Okay, now the computer is running through thousands of calculations as it searches for the perfect team for us to focus on this week. And it looks like this week's focus team will be the 2021 Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, let's set the scene. It's 2021. On the silver screen, the country seemed to get more control over the pandemic and movie theaters began to reopen, where comic book movie adaptations ruled the box office, claiming 5 of the top 10 spots, with Spider-Man: No Way Home rising to number 1. Streaming services continue to put out content to entertain us, as HBO Max released The Friends Reunion in May, and Netflix released a little-known record-breaking series from South Korea called Squid Games. On the airwaves, Dua Lipa took the number 1 spot on Billboard's Hot 100 with Levitating.
You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way.
While Olivia Rodrigo scorched the chart with 3 songs in the top 15. Good For You came in at number 5.
Well, good for you, you look happy and healthy. Not me, if you ever cared to.
Driver's License came in at number 8.
'Cause you said forever, now I drive alone past your street.
And Deja Vu came in at number 13.
Do you get deja vu when she's with you?
With 3 singles that all placed in the top 15, it was no surprise that Olivia Rodrigo had the number 1 album in the US titled Sour, with Adele's 30 claiming the 2nd spot. Technologically speaking, the early part of 2021 was full of headlines about the billionaire space race that pitted Richard Branson, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos against each other in a bid for who would reach the stars first. Fast forward several months, and Bezos' Blue Origin is regularly ferrying the wealthy and influential to the edge of space in its reusable rocket. Commercial spaceflight news reached its apex when William Shatner, aka Captain Kirk, reached space with Blue Origin in October. At 90, Shatner became the oldest person ever to go to space, but his going does something else entirely for public perception of space travel. It signals that it's here, even if it's still slightly out of reach for most of us. Electrical vehicle purchases surged as predictions in early 2021 were forecast at a 71% increase. By October, an 88% increase was actually reported, putting EV market growth beyond expectations. Other items of note: President Biden took office and began working on changing policies that would affect not only the US, but also world economy. Harry and Meghan delivered a bombshell interview with Oprah, which turned into a hot topic the next several months, and Meghan filed a suit against the UK publisher for infringement on her privacy. In the world of sports, the Summer Olympics took place in Tokyo and saw the Americans take home the most medals with 112, followed by China with 89 and Japan with 57. The Atlanta Braves won their 4th World Series, defeating the Astros 4-2.
Left side, Swanson to first. The Braves are world champions.
Jorge Soler was awarded the World Series Most Valuable Player after batting .300 in the series, with home runs in 3 of the Braves' victories, each time giving them a lead they would never give up. The Milwaukee Bucks beat the Suns to take the NBA Championship Series 4-2. Giannis Antetokounmpo wins 2021 Bill Russell NBA Finals MVP award and is the 2nd player in NBA history with 3 40-point, 10-rebound games in a single NBA Finals, joining Shaquille O'Neal in 2000. The NHL Stanley Cup Series was between the Montreal Canadiens and the defending champion Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning won the best-of-7 series, 4-1, for their 2nd consecutive and the 3rd overall championship in franchise history. Now, due to the COVID-19 pandemic that both shortened and delayed the start of the NHL regular season, the championship series began on June 28th of 2021. It concluded on July 7th, marking the first time that games in the Stanley Cup Finals were held in July. The cross-border travel restrictions under the pandemic also forced the league to temporarily realign this season into 4 divisions with no conferences, putting all 7 Canadian teams into one of those divisions. Consequently, a divisional-based postseason format was held, featuring intra-divisional matchups in the first 2 rounds. The 4 divisional playoff champions were then reseeded by regular season points in the Stanley Cup semifinals, with the winners of the semifinals advancing to the Stanley Cup Finals. Under a normal playoff format, this finals matchup would be impossible, as both the Lightning and the Canadiens compete in the NHL's Eastern Conference. However, under the temporarily realigned divisions, some had mixed conferences, which enabled this scenario. This was the first finals since 2009 to be played entirely in the Eastern time zone, the first since 2011 to feature a Canadian-based team, and the first since 2015 to end in a team winning the Stanley Cup at home, and the first since 2018 to require less than 6 games. Sadly, hammering Hank Aaron and Hall of Fame manager Tommy Lasorda, who guided the Dodgers to 2 World Series championships, both passed away in January of 2021.
No strikes. Aaron waiting. The outfield deep and straight away. Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone.
And you're right.
NBA Hall of Famer and Los Angeles Lakers legend Elgin Baylor also passed away due to natural causes in March. Boxers Leon Spinks and Marvelous Marvin Hagler both passed away. Spinks, once famed for beating Muhammad Ali in a 15-round split decision, passed away from multiple cancers in February. And Hagler, who had knocked out 52 of 67 opponents, passed away in May. Hall of Fame NFL lineman Mick Tingelhoff passed away in September from Parkinson's disease. Hall of Fame linebacker Sam Huff passed away in November, and legendary coach and football icon John Madden passed away on December 28th. Okay, let's get into it. After a 1-10 start to the 2020 season, the Jaguars organization fired general manager David Caldwell. On January 4th of 2021, the Jaguars fired head coach Doug Marrone, who finished the season with a 1-15 record, the worst record in franchise history, and an overall record of 25-44. Seeking a fresh start, the Jaguars hired general manager Trent Baalke and head coach Urban Meyer. Successful college coach Urban Meyer was brought in to turn around a floundering franchise, and there was much excitement in Jacksonville about a revitalization. Meyer made some questionable decisions right at the start, though, from hiring Chris Doyle, who had left a job as Iowa's strength coach due to allegations of racism and bullying players, to signing former Florida and NFL quarterback Tim Tebow as a tight end, which was criticized to be a publicity stunt, to also being fined $100,000 for OTA violations. The troubles continued as the Jaguars and Meyer extended the 2020 15-game losing streak by losing their first 5 games of 2021, making the 20-game losing streak the 3rd longest losing streak in NFL history. In October, a video surfaced appearing to show Meyer inappropriately touching a woman who was not his wife following a loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. Jaguars owner Shahid Khan said that Meyer's behavior had been inexcusable and that Meyer must regain our trust and respect. Meyer was also criticized for benching running back James Robinson during losses to the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. The tension surrounding the team got worse in December of 2021 when Jaguars players and coaches were critical of Meyer's treatment of them, to which the team officially responded with assertions of Meyer's job security. Meyer and wide receiver Marvin Jones got into a heated argument where Jones left the Jaguars facility. Jones returned to the facility when other staff members convinced Jones to come back, only to get into another argument with Meyer at practice. Meyer also reportedly called his assistant coaches losers and that he was a winner, and challenged assistants to defend their resumes. On December 15th of 2021, former Jaguars kicker Josh Lambo alleged that Meyer kicked him in the leg during a practice in the week before the Jaguars' final preseason game against the Dallas Cowboys. Urban Meyer was fired on December 16th, 2021, finishing his tenure with the Jaguars with a 2-11 record. The Jaguars' passing game was ranked 22nd overall for passing yards. Rookie quarterback Trevor Lawrence started all 17 games, passing for 3,641 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions. C.J. Beathard held the clipboard for the Jaguars for the season, seeing action in just 2 games, throwing for 33 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. The Jaguars' rushing game was ranked 22nd overall as well for rushing yards. Second-year player James Robinson led the team in rushing yards with 767 and added 8 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence racked up 334 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns, good for second on the team, while Carlos Hyde was third on the team for rushing yards with 253 yards and 1 touchdown. Dependable veteran Marvin Jones led the team in receiving yards with 832 yards and added 4 touchdowns. Laviska Shenault caught 63 passes for 619 yards, good for second on the team. Laquan Treadwell came in third on the team, catching 33 passes for 434 yards and scoring 1 touchdown. Left outside linebacker Josh Allen put the pressure on opposing quarterbacks and led the team with 7 sacks and was second on the team in QB pressures with 14. Miles Jack edged out fellow linebacker Damian Wilson for the most tackles on the team with 108, while rookie cornerback Tyson Campbell led the team in interceptions with 2 and was first on the team in passes defended with 10. The Jaguars' 2021 draft is still being evaluated, but the selections of Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne Jr. in the first round seem like cornerstone building blocks. Lawrence was selected number 1 overall and was an immediate starter for the Jaguars, starting all 17 games. Etienne is a different story. He was injured in the second preseason game against the Saints with a Liz Frank foot injury and ended up missing the entire season. He did come back to start 12 games for the Jaguars in 2022 and averaged 5.1 yards per carry. Cornerback Tyson Campbell started 14 out of the 15 games he appeared in, led the team in interceptions and passes defended, and is slated to start again in 2022. The 2021 Jaguars were looking to turn around their misfortunes with a new general manager and a new head coach, but the latter blew up in their face and set them back even further. The lone bright spots for the franchise were the acquisitions of some good young talent that they can seemingly build upon for the future. Some of the pieces were in place and helped the next Jaguars head coach, Doug Peterson, get the team back to relevance in 2022 and make the playoffs. Thanks for joining me on this week's Throwback Thursday. Let me know in the comments what your favorite memory of this team was, or if I missed anything. I'd also be curious to know what you think of college coaches in the pros. Do they make it? Do they not make it? Are they cut out to be in the NFL? Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell a friend. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.